Welcome back, action figure fans. Today we're going to be looking at 10 more awesome figures that I somewhat randomly pulled off my shelves. These are going to be DC Direct and DC Classics figures. And there are some really cool ones out here to look at. Okay, there we go. That's the 10. Okay, going back to the Wonder Twins, here we have Zan and his sister, twin sister, Jaina. These are DC Classics, and they came in a 2-pack together, and they're totally awesome. If you're a fan of the Super Friends, and I definitely am, I grew up watching the Super Friends back in the day, then these are a must-have. And like I said, they came out in a 2-pack, and they're pretty expensive figures to get. And they look really, really well. The sculpt on them are really good. I like the facial expressions. The colors are really nice. These are really good Wonder Twin figures, both of them. And the box that came in was really cool. It was electronic, and when you opened it, they had their hands outstretched, and it looked like they were touching hands. And the box will say Wonder Twin powers activate, and it has some lights on it. So it was a hard decision to take them out of the package just because it was so cool, but I did. But I can always put it back in. So those are completely awesome Wonder Twin figures. Definitely need to pick those up. Now, here we have their trusty Gleek, and yes, I'm counting him as one of my 10 figures because he is a figure. He was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and he came in like a little baggie. He wasn't boxed or anything like that, and he is kind of an expensive figure to get, actually, believe it or not. He is officially a part of the DC Classics figure line. So if you want to have that whole set, then you definitely need to pick up Gleek. And he goes, of course, with Zan and Jaina. So there you go. There's all three of them together. Definitely a very, very cool set. Need to pick them up. Okay, so Hoppy, the Captain Marvel bunny rabbit figure, he came packaged with a Billy Batson. 2 small figures packaged together. And I think he's really cool. I like these unusual type figures. I'm really glad that they made this figure. He was in comic books back in the 40s, Hoppy, the bunny. And with the multiverse the way it is, then he's definitely a part of the DC universe. He's just from a different dimension. And he is a cool figure to have. And look at that face. It's perfect. And he just looks really cool when you have all your DC Directs and DC Classics all lined up. Having Hoppy there is a great figure to have. Okay, moving on to another DC Classics. This was a 2-pack figure in a box set. I believe it came with an Alexander Luthor figure, and that is Adam Strange, the protector of, what's the name of the planet? Zen Law, something like that. Anyway, I've always thought he was a really cool figure. He's like a throwback to like Buck Rogers, the Space Rangers. He's got that amazing jetpack on his back. And I have him on that little flight stand there. Thanks, Todd McFarlane. And it's a cool figure. Now, this is the DC Classics. They also, DC Direct made one that I think is actually a little bit better. And maybe I'll get that one out at some point. But he's a cool figure, man. I like Adam Strange. All right, there you go. Adam Strange. All right, moving on to the bad guys. Now here is a really cool figure. The only thing I don't like is that you can see over time, and this happens to figures where the plastics they don't quite match up, and one set starts to fade more than the other, and you have this really weird look on them. So the only way around that is to paint them, I guess, or buy another one that you can find not like that. But they will happen to almost all of them. But this is Gentleman Ghost. He is an awesome figure. He came two-packed with Hawk Girl, and he's just a cool character, man. I really like him. I just read some comic books with him. The JSA were fighting him, and he turns out, to their surprise, to be a real ghost. And I like that. There's no face there. There's just the monocle there. So at some point, maybe I will spray paint him to get it more uniform and white again. But right now, he's on my shelf, and just as he is, he still looks really good. That's a cool figure, Gentleman Ghost. I like him a lot. Okay, moving on to a heavy hitter for the JLA, Despero. He is an extremely powerful alien, and what makes him so dangerous is he has amazing telepathy as well. He can hold his own against the whole JSA all at once. He especially likes to target Martian Manhunter. And this is just a great, amazing figure. The sculpt on it is perfect. And the face, the rage and the evil captured there. This is a fantastic figure, guys. Definitely one to pick up for your DC Direct display. If you don't have Despero, that's probably the best one you're going to find. I highly recommend picking that guy up. Okay, moving on to the Legion of Superheroes. The big, powerful bad guy, the Fateful Five, I believe. Here we have Validus. He was a Build-A-Figure from the DC Classics line, and I think it's an amazing figure. Look at that face. You can see his brain in there. I don't really know much about this figure or this character. I haven't really read Legions of Superheroes. He's just humongous. He's buff. He's bulky. I know he's super strong. And this is an amazing Build-A-Figure. It looks just fantastic. I think that's probably a close to perfect figure for Validus. I can't imagine it getting much better than him. And there you go, guys. Amazing figure. Speaking of amazing figures, these last two are incredible figures. They're both Doomsday, okay? But they're not the same figure. So this is Doomsday. When he first appeared in the comic books, he was actually imprisoned, and he actually had this suit on his body, and he has all kinds of restraints on him that he broke out of. And this is what Doomsday first looked like when he appeared. And this is an amazing figure. Just for one thing, the size of this figure is incredible. This is the size of Doomsday. He should be humongous. He should be towering over any figures around. And you can see him there next to Gentleman Ghost, and you can see that he just dwarfs it, which Doomsday should. And I really, really like the face on him, those red goggles. This is a close to perfect figure of Doomsday when he first appeared. Amazing figure, guys. Amazing. If you don't have this, go pick it up. There's only one Doomsday figure that's actually better than that one. And it's right here. This is the greatest Doomsday figure ever made. For a lot of the same reasons. The size of this figure is just incredible. And you can see he has the red cape here that he's, torn off of Superman. You can see the rage in his face. Everything about this is just perfect. This is a perfect figure, guys. Perfect. This is an amazing figure. If you don't have this, jump on eBay, track it down, get it. This is the best Doomsday figure ever made. They're not going to make a better one. And Everything about him is just so cool. Yes, you can move his arm down if you want, like that right there. I like having it up where you can definitely see that red cape from Superman. This was put out by Matty Collector. This is in the DC Classics line. And one of the best figures DC Classics has ever made. Can't say it enough what an awesome figure that is. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed these figures. If you liked my video, please check out my other ones. I'm making these videos for you. All right, take care.